guys, Jill here, and some months ago I had showed you that I purchased several of the Art Impressions mini watercolor sets at the Scrapbook Expo show, and several of you were interested in seeing me do some tutorials on these. So today I'm going to show you the flowering mailbox. So here are the sets. There were 6 of them, and I know since then they've come out with 3 more. I'm hoping to get my hands on those pretty soon. So what I've done is I've taken them in groups of 3, ran them through my laminator, and so here's the fronts of them, and here's the backs, and then these are cling mounted sets. So I just mounted each of the sets to these backers, and so that's how I store those. It's a really easy way to keep them with their directions. Okay, so here's the stamps. I just put them on some mounts. Let me go ahead and zoom in here. And, okay. So, I'm going to use distress markers today. I'm using Rusty Hinge, and actually that one probably is optional. Mowed Lawn, Festive Berries, Seedless Preserves, and Vintage Photo. And actually, let me come out just a little. Okay, there we go. You'll want some water. I'm just using my spray bottle to get the water. And then I'm going to use today a number 6 brush. And that's because my number 4 brush, I did something to the tip of it. Here's my example. And I really like how it turned out. And so I've done several others. I don't like how this one came out. I messed up the sky. Here's the window. I'm still not finished with that, or the trunk. Here's another one that I do like. I mixed a few together. Here's another mailbox I haven't finished. And I think I just have another mailbox, and that brings us back there. So let me get started. Okay, so these are really easy to work with. So we're going to start with the mailbox, and we are working on throwing the stamps already. Great, sorry about that. Grab a new mount because that one is long gone. Great. Okay, you know what? It's easier to have multiple mounts, but now I don't. Okay, so the mailbox is the largest thing obviously we're going to be doing, but when you're working with your markers, work with the brush tip, work on the side of the markers, not the tip. If you're using the tip of the markers, you're just going to destroy them. So what I was saying is, with the water-based markers, you can use any kind of markers. You know, like your expensive markers, you can use Distress, you can use your aqua markers, you can use your, see, I'm picking up the lint from when I cleaned off the stamp. Sorry about the dogs. But you could use like a Crayola marker. So see what you have in your stash. And then we're just going to stamp it down and hold it on the paper for a moment. And I believe, sorry, I'm a little all over the place today. So I'm not sure if I mentioned I'm using the Strathmore cold press watercolor paper. This is the 300 series, which is the yellow. Okay, held it down way more than I needed to. Okay, so I'm going to squirt a little bit of water, and then I'll actually, squirt just some onto my brush. Okay, then I'm just going to pinch the water off of my brush. I'm going to feel it onto the back of my hand there, and I kind of know how the brush should feel. And see how the image isn't quite defined? that's okay, because we're going to kind of fade it out a little. And if I fade too much, I can just come back in later and draw it back in, and I'll use the brush tip to draw it back in usually. Some people are good with the fine tip. I'm just not one of those people. I tend to color too hard, and I kind of press the image into the paper, and that's not good. Okay, so see how we're just kind of spreading the color and just not blurring the lines. This reminds me of when I was a kid. Now, I didn't press this lightly, but we had those watercolor books that we would get, and they had the watercolor in them. I love those books, and you just sit and color, and everything, all the color was in them, in the paper. Sorry. And that's how you know, they'd come all ready to go, and you just added water. Okay, so now we're going to go in with the purple little leaves, or little flowers. Oh my gosh. That's the thing about Florida with the seasons. My allergies kick in, and they're here for like 9 months because everything's blooming. Okay, so again, you're just going to use the seedless preserves to color on the flower. And when I clean these, I got towel. My little, I had a newer towel that I used. So let's put 3 to start of these. So I just put marker on it each time, but I do move it each time. And what I tend to do is with the block, I don't rely on moving my hand. I move the block in my hand each time, and that way I get a different spot each time. So what I do is I'm going to do 3 different groups. So I will do each color. So here I'm doing the purple. So I'll do the little purple flowers, and then I'll come in with my water, and then I'll clean my brush. And I'll do 4 here. And then after I clean my brush, then I'm going to come in with the leaves. And at this point, you really could use the stamp pad, but the advantage of using the markers is that, like we're going to do with the leaf, I'm not going to color the stem on the leaf, and you'll see that. Okay, so I did 4 there too. So to clean it, I'm sorry, my rag is stained and dirty. I'll just spray it, and when that stamp, this little guy really does fall right off, and I'm going to use that same amount for my little leaf. Okay, so, and with your markers, when you put the top on, be sure it's all the way down. If you see any black, you want to be sure to snap it on, because your markers will go dry if you're not putting it on correct. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that I was in frame. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing I did. I'm going to use my little puddle of water over here, and then I'm going to squish the tip together, and then I'm going to touch it on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to kind of dab on the flowers, and then I'm going to use what's on that brush to kind of dab in between the flowers to kind of fill in the spaces, because you figure there would kind of be flowers behind them. Now we're going to come in again and fill in. This is just starting with 3, but next I'm going to come in and just use the stamp itself and fill in, say, 2 here and there. That's what I like to do on the next step. But I like to see how everything dries after I've added in the leaves. So, but I like how it's looking. You see how it gives it some perspective with those like little background looking flowers. We're going to add some leaves and flowers over the mailbox, but I did mean to say flowers, but we will add leaves too. So I like how this is starting to come together. It's a really simple process. I guess I'm doing it a little bit slower than I normally would. Wipe your brush in some water and wipe it off. Okay. So now, like I said, we're going to come in and we're going to just color over just the leaves. And once again, just stamp it on, and you're not going to get perfect impressions. And that's fine because the water's going to fill it in. So let's do 2 right here. And I think on this one I'm going to want 3. So coming kind of out of the mailbox. Oh, great. Just never fails, does it? My. There's got to be something loud and outrageous in every video I have. Oh my. Okay. Okay, so down here, let's see, we got here. And let's do there. See, I'm even getting some of the leaf. And you can just rub the color off with your finger. Okay, so let's go there and see what we're doing. And let's just put that right there. Okay, so let's get some water, pinch off the brush, and again, let's do that dabbing. And with this one, we're not going to do quite as much in between. I don't want to dull these too much. Like I just did there. I'll come back in. That first one, I always seem to get too much water. See, I did it here too, and had to come in and re-stamp it. I just always am weird when I get my first little bit of water on the brush. I'm not quite getting the right amount. So I'm going to pick up this water for the moment and then come back in. There we go. Okay, better. Now, I like this mowed lawn because it doesn't change color, but the water does move differently. And it does kind of go towards the outside of the leaf a little with the way I'm putting the water on. So I like that. Okay, so let's go in with just a few little flowers. So see, I just inked up those two. And this is going to help some of these, like this one is so round. I don't want that one that round. And this one is so hard to hold on to at this point. And then I'll take some of the really light stampings too. And it's hard kind of to judge where this is at. Now I'm just making it rounder. This is going great. Okay, but I'm kind of liking these. Okay, yep, I'm just making it rounder, so I think I'm gonna have to leave it alone for now. And I will mess with it later. Okay, but you guys get the idea. Let's just give one more spray here for that. Okay, so then we put the bird on. I'm going to go with the example with the bird and actually put him in a little different spot than I had been, and actually put him up here. And I'm not sure. Yep, got him good. And then in their example is where they used the rusty hinge a little. I'm going to put a little on his tail and his wing. So, let's wet the brush, pinch off the color, and there's that. Then we're going to come in with the bright red right in here, kind of sketchy, and then some on this mailbox flag. I miss having that type of mailbox. We have a mailbox, but ours is locked, and it's a tin box that all of our neighbors go to. Florida's different that way. Don't like it. Okay, so there's that. Let's leave him that way for now. And then really at this point there's just shading on the mailbox. I haven't really loved most of the shading that I've done on the mailbox. There's the purple and the blue. So, with the purple, the thing that I don't love is that these colors really grab the paper. So I really hesitate to put the marker straight onto the paper. So you see how I went in to my mat, my craft mat, and then have drawn it onto, kind of drawn it with my paintbrush, because when I go straight onto the paper, it just sinks right in, and I cannot stand that. It goes in so hard, and it's so hard to draw out into the paper any further. It's there and it's done for. So with this, I'm just kind of almost drawing it on the paper with my brush, and I way prefer this look. So I'm just kind of sketching in some shadows. And I'm keeping it really kind of general to end it there. And then just I feel that I kind of lost a little bit of the line right here and right here, here. And then some of these lines were intentionally lost, and I'm good with that. You know, because you want some of these lines to just kind of sink in to everything else that's going on. So, there you have it. I'm gonna call that done. And I like how it turned out, and I hope that I'm in somewhat frame. There we go. So there's the first one. Again, that's the flowering mailbox with the art impressions. And I'm sorry this went so long, but I hope it helped you. So if you enjoyed this video, I hope you would give me a thumbs up. Please comment, and thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.